6 years since you've been on.
Has it been that long?
Man, I tell you what, we go way back, don't we?
Yeah, I'm thinking, someone's asking me the other day, I said, I do a show about once a year.
Yeah, well, that may have to happen, man, especially with this when you're putting out stuff like you did here recently, the interview with the devil. Sherry, are we talking about El Luciferio himself?
Yeah, we're talking Lucifer himself, old dog face.
Okay, all right, let's start this thing rolling. Now, as you remember, people are sending in questions as we're doing the show. And certainly you can look in the live chat, pop it over. In fact, you could probably watch the show too. Just when you pop it on, just keep the volume down the first time, and then you should be able to see it without having any kind of echo. Are you? Because you're not talking on the computer, you're talking on the phone, right?
Right, I'm on the phone. I just out of the computer. I was having a hard time getting in. They kept throwing me in loops, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't get a clear connection for more than 5 seconds at a time.
Yeah, boy. All right. Well, here we go. You wrote this book now. Did you write the book after you had this interview, or did you have the idea you wanted to write a book about the devil and then went to say maybe to do something that would cause you to get that information to fill the book up?
Well, you know what? I've spent years teaching people about the spiritual war around them and how it manifests in our physical realm. And everything I've been teaching for years is because I have first-hand experience. And so when I started talking, there was a bit of a thing back in, I don't know if you were aware, I had a heart attack in October.
You did?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I had a heart attack in October. They put a stent in, all that stuff. They were trying to kill me. They're always trying to kill me. But then in March, it kicked up again with Lilith and a really powerful witch in Miami. And they got groups around the world all together at the same time to chant my death. They get together and do these rituals, death chants.
Yeah.
They had the entire world involved with that. And at that point at night, I told Father, I'm going to die. Because I was ready to go into another major heart attack.
Yeah.
And so Father sent Archangel Michael to get Lilith, because Lilith was down there in Miami.
Yeah.
And he put her in quarantine. And about a month later, Lucifer tried to fake an attack against my house here with a bunch of his forces. And he tried to sneak away to jailbreak Lilith, I guess you could say. I know this sounds crazy, but this is just the way it is, folks. Well, Lucifer got caught, obviously.
Bastard.
And so he's been in quarantine in a lower realm part of heaven with Lilith since then. And so, you know, I asked Father, you know, I really like to ask him some questions, you know, because when we talk on Earth, it's never civil. It's always, you know, we just want to kill each other.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
And so Father set it up so that I could talk to Lucifer, and he kept it civil. And so you'll see this in the book. And at some point in these conversations I was having with him, I said, I think I'll write a book. And I think this was all Father's idea. And so during the book, you'll see clips of me talking to Lucifer about, will this book ever get published? Will this ever even happen, you know? And so he was well aware the whole time. And so, you know, it's basically put up by the Father. It was his idea. There's no way this could have ever happened without him. So I just, you know, give him the shout-out, all the credit for that.
Shout out to the Father, all right?
Yeah, the Most High God. And and I know this just sounds crazy to people, but they don't understand who I am or the life I've had. And so, you know, Lucifer's been stalking me since I was born. And as an adult, you come to the time and point in your life you want to find out why.
You've been locked in a battle against the devil for a long time.
Oh yeah, since I was born.
So are there victories on both sides sometimes? I mean, you have victories and sometimes the devil has victories? Oh
yeah.
Or does he lose every time?
He suppresses me down.
Yeah.
He keeps me on the blacklist.
Keeping a woman down, I see how he is.
Yeah, he is. He's no charmer. He attacks me every way he can. I mean, I'm on the blacklist. I can't get any publicity. Nothing. And with me, it's like when I started my Oregon War against him in 2004, it was our fight back. It was our resistance against him. And you'll see us even talk about that in the book where I talk about the Oregon War he does. He talks about, you have no idea the horrors you've caused me. It does everything I've always said it does. And you'll hear it straight from his own mouth.
Well, I didn't know that. Now, I knew that Oregon would really piss off some aliens. Are you saying they actually, that it affects the devil as well?
It affects his people. He stays at the Vatican. He comes around here. I can't kill him. Nobody can kill Lucifer.
Yeah.
But you can kill his people around him.
Right
They're fair game.
Well, I'm all for that.
Yeah, and so
hey, man, the devil needs killing. Well, I figure,
and so we have
people.
the resistance against him, our war against him. You know, he's allotted to be here. He's given a certain amount of time, and he can't kill me, and I can't kill him. But we try. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
His people never stop trying to kill me.
No, I can see that.
I mean, I've had snipers at me from helicopters, from trees, from fields. I've had poisoned food in my house and restaurants. The heart attack thing they were trying for years finally got me in October. I mean, it just never stops.
Man. All right, let's go to this question. I believe it's from live chat. Guest 830 says, if you think that they're trying to kill you, why do you keep going to the hospital? Is that the question?
Well, I had to that night.
Yeah.
I mean, in October. I've had probably 100 heart attacks since then.
Okay, well,
I haven't gone.
Okay, here's a follow-up question from Zaja. Why were they trying to kill you as a toddler? Was the devil able to see into the future to see what kind of damage you would cause to his kingdom?
He knew when I was born, and it's crazy, Daniel, because in my very first book, in the very introduction, I started out, it would stand at the foot of my bed. And I described this creature that used to come into my room every night as a child. He was stalking me from the time I was born because he knew I was from heaven. He didn't know which one I was or who I was, but he knew I was from heaven, born on earth.
Well, you know what? Here's something. I know you have your detractors. You know, I mean, here you said just in your intro that, you know, witches were trying to put a hex on you. And, you know, and when I put the Facebook post up that you were coming to the program, somebody said, well, you're a witch. You know, I mean, it's like, really? But, you know, so look here. Beelzebub will not war with himself. So if they're trying to get you, you're obviously not on their side. That should be a clarification for some people. But you've been engaging in clearly spiritual battles. You have a lot to say about it. You've written some great books. And then, as I say, a detractor may say things about you, but if you ask them, where's your battle at? How's your battle going? And they say, what battle? You know, I go to Walmart and I go on the internet and I troll people and my battle is I troll people. I mean, what the hell kind of spiritual battle is that? It's basically somebody claim that they're in you know, say in a spiritual kind of lifestyle type thing.
Yeah, like trolls and haters are a dime a dozen. You know. All the witches are mad because I have Lilith in quarantine, and, you know, all the Satanists are mad because, well, most of them don't even know Lucifer's in quarantine. They've been trying to hide it.
Hey, I just thought, hey, maybe they should troll the devil for a change. How about that?
Yeah, you know.
Okay, all right. Let's get to another question, Sherry. This one's coming from the Fast Blast. This is from California. Joel asked, it's kind of on the side, it looks like here. Have you ever seen clouds behind the moon? And I think that they're probably referencing a show we had where somebody claimed there were clouds behind the moon. I mean, is that anything you ever get into, those kinds of topics?
I really don't get into it. There's so many things in front of the moon. You know, the moon here half the time is in the southeast corner, somewhere it's not supposed to be. It's just basically a spaceship right now. It's not really a moon.
Whoa. What now?
Yeah, you know they've taken over the moon.
Well, they seems like they've wanted it for a long time, I must say.
They move it where they want to. I mean, what Satan does is he carves out, well, all planets are hollow, and what he'll do is he's got a mechanization system in it or some kind of motor, and they can, you know, do what they want with that thing pretty much.
Mm-hmm. All right, and let's get to another question that come in. This is from Kenton, Colorado. Sherry, have you ever stuck a pipe in Lucifer's face? I mean, I guess let's just make a real question out of that. Have you ever tried to physically hurt this creep?
Well, I would love to stick a grenade in his mouth and watch his head blow up.
Okay.
And I mentioned this in the book when he's talking about the Vatican.
Yeah.
Sure, I would love to, but I can't. You can't kill Lucifer right now.
Yeah.
He's a sign at a point in time. But when he was describing about how he lives at the Vatican and what they do to people there, I was just losing it. I just could not keep my cool together then. I mean, I was so angry.
Well, I imagine dealing with the devil anyway would make anybody angry. So have you been given any insight? Because I know the devil is like the father of lies, and of course he has a sister named Hillary. But has the spiritual world given you inside information how to defeat him?
Well, you can't. Like I said, you can fight against him.
Yeah.
You can defeat the minions around him. People don't understand that they blame everything on the devil, but the devil has thousands in his faction, in his group, his organization. And they all work for him. And so they're the ones who go out and target people with light. They call them people of light. They can look at a human and see if they have light or not.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they really don't bother, and they just, torment them, whatever. But if a person has light, it means it's God's light is in them. And they'll target them. They'll try to kill them.
Now, is that, going back to the earlier question from Jaja, when you were a child, do you feel like you had that light?
Oh, yeah. When I was born, I looked like an angel. I had white hair and big blue eyes, and, I just, totally looked like I was an angel. And I have memories of sitting on Yahushua's lap and him rocking and singing to me. And so, the memories I have and things growing up and the things I experience now, it all just started to come together. And when you read this book, the info I reveal is so mind-blowing. There's no one else who could have written this book unless they had that exact access to both heaven and to Lucifer himself, to a lesser extent.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to set him on a pedestal.
In the book, can you just give something that of that revelatory nature that sort of proves the inside information you had, that you were there and that these things happened?
Well, I talk about Nibiru, and you can hear from Lucifer himself what Nibiru was, what they were doing on Nibiru. I talk about the fall, the rebellion, the Garden of Eden. I describe heaven, the heavenly system, the heliocentric system it was, with the heavenly planets. I describe the queens of heaven. People think there was just the Son of God. There were also daughters. People don't get that. And this is all information that was available in the early ages that over time they suppressed. Lucifer didn't want anyone to know. And interestingly enough, when I talked to Lilith, she didn't even know Lucifer was an angel from heaven. So when she was seduced by him in the Garden of Eden, she had no idea who he was.
Wow. So now you're saying that where is Lilith now, though?
She's in quarantine in the lower realm of heaven with Lucifer. They're together.
Okay. So she's in quarantine, and not to be rude about it, but is the devil doing her? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
I was shocked he loved her enough to try to go jailbreak her because he's so narcissistic.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked. I just asked that question. So
wives. I was shocked he even loved her and went to try to find her.
Well, like I say, I was shocked I even asked that. All right. Sometimes I shock myself. All right. Here's a question from Carol in Arizona. It says, Sherry, is it true that Satan, Lucifer, told you the Earth was round and not flat?
You can see Earth from space. So, Earth is a sphere. The Bible says it's a sphere.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know where you stood on that there. I'm just relaying the questions to you.
We were talking about the flat Earth theory.
Okay.
And he was laughing because the whole thing started out as a joke. And then the lies got bigger and bigger and bigger. You can see it's a card on the New World Order deck. The whole thing was started up by the CIA trolls. So even Lucifer laughs that idiots fall for the flat Earth stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Earth from space. I don't know if you've ever been yanked out of your body in a dream and you were astral projecting or whatever. Anybody who astral projects, I'll tell you it's round.
All right. Well, let's get to... I'll tell you what, though. Now, that might have been a better question than it could be. What have you been able, in your interview with the devil, have you been able to pick up new revelation, something that humans don't know yet, that only could have been revealed from his side.
Well, you know what? What shocked me is if you read the part about the awakening. The awakening is because I'm remembering for the first time exactly what the rebellion and war was about. And one of the shocking things that happened was that on Nibiru was an ancient planet, and he wanted to turn Nibiru into a huge sun he wanted to recreate his own heaven and have Nibiru as the sun in the center of it, and all of his planets around it. This was the ancient former system of heaven. The sun was the heliocentric center, and there was heavenly planets around it, and a queen ruled on each planet. Lucifer wanted to mimic that, and so he was using Nibiru. But what he did, because he had a lot of technological geniuses back in the day, and he still does. They're not good, but they're smart. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'll give them credit for being smart, being able to figure things out. But they had developed what we call CERN, the Large Hadron Collider thing. They had developed a Stargate on Nibiru, and they had it buried in the center of this planet, and they were pulling creatures in from other parts of the universe and tagging them and putting them in armies so that they could be controlled. And that's the same thing. And then he unleashed all that on the heavenly planets, and they were everywhere, all over the place. It was part of the war. When he unleashed all these creatures on all the heavenly planets, it was like his retaliation against heaven, whatever. He's doing the same thing here with CERN. He's bringing in all these creatures from space. He's finding them again. He's tagging them. He's stuffing them in places. And he's going to pull them all out and unleash them on Earth. That's why the Father says there's nothing new under the sun that's happening, because it's all happened before.
So are you saying then that the devil gave humans the CERN technology, and then he's really using it like a Trojan horse to bring his hordes of killers and thugs and rioters into this realm?
Yeah, he's using it to bring in all kinds of creatures. They're opening up portals. He's going to blast the whole to hell, and all those hordes that are in hell are going to be unleashed on Earth. This is going to be literally hell on Earth. And when this happens, and he calls it the phase, when the phase is over, he'll go hide. And we call it the Great Tribulation period at that point. The Bible parallels it. Tells it the time of Jacob's trouble. He is going to go hide because he knows what a zoo this place is going to be. His biggest plan and joy is the phase. And the phase is when the mark is going to be enforced on the world, where everyone has to get his chip, his mark, his number, his name, his image in around their right hand or forehead to show their loyalty to him.
Yeah, I think he's got a logo. I think it's I'm with her. Hey, here's a question from Steve Woodruff from the live chat, I believe, and he's from Wales. This is from Wales, North UK. It says, "Are we part of the third that rebelled and were allowed a life on Earth to atone and to see who is really sorry?"
Those are the fallen angels that fell, and there are some that are recycled as humans over and over again. I talk about it in Angels in the Flesh.
Yeah.
There are some who just recycle over and over and over and over as humans.
Okay. Now, have you been recycled?
No. Okay. No, I never fell.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Where are you going to fall? I don't know, man. I mean, was that a one-time deal, or can people still fall and getting stuck in a life loop?
Oh, they can still fall. Angels are not held in heaven with a gun. I mean, they can fall. The Watchers' rebellion talked about in Enoch, 200 million fell. They wanted to procreate with human women. So there's been different rebellions over the years, and that's why we have the giants and the Nephilim and demons and all that kind of thing. Everything comes from somewhere.
Well, there's sure a lot of creeps out there. Are you sure that a lot of these fallen demon types are not now residing in the Middle East?
Well, you know what? He calls that the biggest garbage dump on the planet. Yeah. Because what they do in the Middle East is they take the humans off the planet, and they kill them and torture them on their alien ships and in their starships and underground bases. And then they put fakes on the Earth to play the role of that human. And I was told this by the White House years ago as well. The reason so many people, it's 80 degrees out and you got long sleeves, they're hiding the numbers on their wrists and they have numbers on the backs of their necks. Those are clone numbers.
Really?
Yeah. And so, Lucifer hates the Middle East. He hates Israel. It's a garbage dump to him.
He ain't nothing but a hater.
He knows most of it's not even humans, and they're all inbred. They're a bunch of inbred animals, is what he calls them. And so it's just a cesspool. And then when you look at NATO soldiers, what he told me about NATO soldiers is they have all these super soldier programs in the UK and the US, and they have all this transgender or transhumanism stuff going on. They have various experiments, and what they do is they throw all these people, these soldiers, in NATO forces. So NATO forces are a mess.
Well, I'll tell you what, every time I see a NATO soldier, man, they always remind me of a sissy boy. I mean, these guys are effeminate-looking dudes. I mean, you can smack them right in the face, and they're just going to fade away.
Well, any kind of these super soldiers and stuff, they're severely abused in the my labs.
Yeah.
They're severely abused.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I bet if you're a NATO soldier, every one of them guys is assigned a safe space in case things get hairy. But, getting back to the spiritual or the dumping ground there in the Middle East, so I'm watching, rewatched Apocalypto, and, in that movie, it kind of refers back to early South America where the Aztecs and the Mayans, they build the temples and they get their enemies and they would cut their hearts out and then reach in there or try to get it while it's still beating it. And then I was reading where in the Middle East that if they capture people, man, that they go inside and they take their body parts and they sell them. I'm thinking, wait a minute, man, are these the same people? What is going on in this planet? Is that what it is? It's the spirit of them, or that they come through and they're still here?
They're still here. At the time of the flood, Lilith knew that the Father was going to destroy the world with the flood. She saw the flood. When she saw the water, they really got busy. And what they did was took several thousands of people off of the planet. And then when the water receded, they brought their people back. And the people of South America are theirs. The people of India, China, all the almond eye races are Liliths. All the dark skin races are Eve's and Lucifer's. And they brought them back after the flood. Now, they used South America and America, everything over here away from the Middle East, as like a cross-breeding ground for animals. That's why you have the dinosaurs. That's where all that comes in. They tried to keep it away from the Middle East and kept it over here in other parts of the country. It was easier then, probably because it was flat. It wasn't so broken up.
Well, Hillary says they don't need to be ripping out hearts. They just need a job. So I'm not sure what kind of policy that is. But here Steve Ells out of the live chat says, are humans a slave race?
No, we're God's people. We were created by God. The aliens want you to think you're a slave race. They want you to think that they created you and they're coming back to rule over you, and that's a lie.
Yeah.
They created, the best they could come up with was the Cro-Magnon. They were brute beasts. That's why they tried to come up with an evolutionary scale from ape to a human. All the ape to human stuff was Lucifer's attempts at creating man. Man was the Father's. The Most High God created man. We're His children. We're not Lucifer's.
Well, now is that all people, everyone on the planet, or? Well,
humans are from the Father. Now, bloodlines are a different thing. You got Cain's kids everywhere.
And you're a King's kid there. All right, here, Philip from Georgia asked this question to you, Sherry Schreiner. What incentive did Lucifer have to give you an interview?
Well, me and Lucifer go way back. I mean, we kind of grew up together in heaven back in the day. Yeah. We go way back. And so I've always had access to him because I'm the only one on earth who could find a way to defeat him.
Having some lunch, throwing down a few brewskis. I mean, you guys go way back. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, we go way back. I grew up in the palace, same time with him, and we were very close at one time.
Uh-oh. How close, Sherry, how close did you guys get?
Well, we were close, Daniel. He was my brother.
Oh, okay. The devil was your brother then?
Yeah, basically. And so when he started the rebellion, we warred against him. Okay,
because you didn't want to go along with his plan.
Oh, no. Nobody. You have to understand, he decided to take a system that was already working fine in heaven and begin a new world order, so to speak. Mm-hmm. None of this is new, Daniel. Nothing happening right now is new. It happened before. He tried to change the economy. He tried to change the governments, the form of worships. He tried to implement changes to change everything. Mm-hmm. And all of the queens rose up against him and fought against him. And so at one point, he had about two-thirds of the angels, because they were going along with him. They didn't know what was going on. Right. But when the queens rose up against him to fight against him, then the angels realized what was going on. He was a prince. He was a king. So they were just, listening to him blindly. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't question him or Yahushua, who was named Yasha in heaven. You wouldn't question them if they gave you an order. Mm-hmm. And so this had never been done before. And he started implementing all of these changes, starting a rebellion. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into a war because nobody was going along with it.
Well, if he was your brother, Sherry, I mean, is he? Did you disown him, or are you guys still brothers? You just having a family?
Oh, no.
You having a family feud?
He's long gone. He's long gone. His name was Haliel. His heavenly name was Haliel. And someone on earth somewhere changed it to Lucifer. Everybody just goes with that now, Lucifer.
Okay. And what was his real name? How do you spell that? I don't even know.
Haliel, Halayael, or A-L. I don't know either. I just spell it as I pronounce it.
Well, yeah, you don't normally spell his name because you're always talking to him in person. All right. Okay. Now, in the book, do you say that the meeting of your interview was arranged? I mean, was he sent an invite, and then how did that all come about?
No, it took place. I guess you would have to say like a portal was open.
Okay.
And he was with the Father at all times.
Okay.
So the Father could control him.
It didn't
but
seem
you
like
know what? It was very
civil.
civil. It just stayed pretty much civil the whole time.
Okay.
And this took time over weeks. This wasn't a sit down and talk for a couple of days. This took time over weeks, and I have the dates in my book when this conversation took place.
Really?
Yeah.
And how long was it? Days? Did you guys keep meeting? Scheduled appointment?
Oh, he was enjoying it. If I was skipping a couple days of talking to him, he would get angry.
Wow.
And he's like, "Where you are? Where are you? Where have you been? Why are you taking so long?" And I'm like, "I had to go get some coffee," because Father would set up a time for us to talk, and I'd be like, "Hang on, I need some coffee." It's just typical stuff. And I leave that in the book so people can actually get a feel of what's going on.
Okay.
I don't change anything he says. I don't change anything. I just wrote it as it was said, wrote it as it happened. I tried to keep his personality in there because it was important to me that no matter what I said, the important thing to me was that people could perceive how he really is. Because so many people, they sign the dotted line, they sell their soul to Lucifer, they think they're going to get something from him when they die. I wanted them to see his own personality and see in his own words what he really thinks of them.
Okay.
That was more important to me than any other part of that book.
Okay. Hang on for a second. All right, let's get to this question here from the live chat from Bransif in Melbourne, Australia. Was Yeshua firstborn, therefore, heir to the kingdom of heaven?
He actually was not. He was Haliel. There were five girls born. Then Haliel was created, and then Yasha. The boys were in the middle. Yahushua and Lucifer. The Mormons got it right, and everybody blasted them. The churches thought they were blasphemous and blah, blah, blah. But the Mormons got it right. Those two were brothers. Yahushua and Lucifer were brothers.
Man, a lot of brothers and sister and things going on there.
Well, there was 14 kids.
They were expecting kids?
There was 14 children. Father has 14 direct children. He had 2 sons and 12 daughters.
Yeah. I got to ask, was Hillary Clinton one of them?
No.
All right. So when you guys, okay. So you guys up there, sitting around the heavenly table there. Now, is God sitting there? Is he listening to the interview between you and the devil?
Oh, yes. He's sitting right there.
And are there like angels sitting around having a good old time, and they're bringing in some golden?
They don't like being around him.
They don't like him?
No, they totally excommunicated him, disowned him, whatever. They don't want anything to do with him.
Are the angels mad at God for allowing him up there?
They don't like it, but he's allowed access. And even in the Bible says he stands before the throne daily accusing the brethren, the children of God.
Yeah. Well,
he has access. He doesn't have to go to the council and seek permission to talk to the Father. He has his own straight-way portal straight to the throne where he can talk to the Father.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes it, but that's the way it is.
Okay. A question from Steve Ells out of the live chat. Does the devil have dominion on the earth right now? Or is there going to be a time when he is?
He has, as Paul states, Satan is the god of this world. He's the one that's mostly worshipped, minority. You got to admit, 90% of the people on this planet are his offspring. Mm-hmm. Very few, small percentage are actually still the line of Seth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, you do put it together, sure. I got to hand it to you. So when you were talking with the devil now, so were you remembering the conversations that you had in your mind? Were you did you have, when you came back to Earth, did you have like an auto write? Did you auto write a book? I mean, how did that come out?
I would just write as we were talking.
Okay, so you brought pen and paper, or did you bring an iPad up there? How did you transcribe
I could just sit right here.
Okay, so you never...
I can sit right here at my desk and have an open portal straight to the throne.
Okay, so let's view that now. So you're sitting at home, and did you... And I'm not making a line, but did you get like a message saying it's interview time, Sherry, or do you just say I'm in? I mean, what?
I would just I would sit and say, okay, Father, I'm ready, and he would make it happen. Okay. It's hard to describe because I've been to heaven many times, and it's basically portals. I don't know how else to describe it. You can access heaven through portals. That's why I have hinges going up everywhere, because hinges create portals. Mm-hmm.
Have you, over time, been able to sort of maybe teach people how to access these portals and get up there with the Father? Or do you feel like you have sort of an exclusive deal there?
Well, I do have exclusive because I have his DNA. But I've been teaching people my entire life to sit at his feet, to ask him for the truth in all things. Even the Bible says to go to an out-of-way place, because what happens is when you always go to your prayer closet,
okay,
it's another name for it, go to your prayer closet, always have the same place that you worship and pray to him in. Because what that does is it opens up a portal to the throne room from where you're at. Built over consistency, over time, like you're always consistent.
All right. I saw on the live chat somebody suggested you're a direct daughter of the Father. Are there others like yourself out there?
Just one more.
And what's her name? Her name.
Her name is Rachel. She is we're both warriors. We're the only warrior daughters. The others are not warriors. That's why they're not here. We're warriors, and we're the ones who started the Oregon War against Lucifer. She stays in the background.
Okay, well, you're just you kind of put yourself out there. You seem to have less fear then.
Yeah, well, I'm Queen of Fire. I don't fear a whole lot. I just set things on fire.
Well, fear has torment, as the good book says there.
That's why I'm here, because I could take him on. I didn't fear him.
Guest 720 out of the live chat asks, how many hinges are in the United States?
Right now there's about 8.
Okay.
I've been trying to teach people how to make them and put them up.
Okay. And how many?
Everything I know I teach. I'm a teacher.
Alrighty. And just kind of a political question here. Guest 110 wants to know, what do you think of Hillary and Trump?
Oh, I blast her enough. I both of them enough on my Facebook. You know what? My latest post was exactly what I said. If Alex Jones was really in the know, like he says he is, how he always says he's in the know, and he has all these insiders and blah, blah, he would know the real one's dead.
Well,
so prosecuting a clone or a fake, a replacement, Is it worth it? And that's why Comey's not going to.
I saw Alex Jones went to the GOP convention. He was trying to mix it up with BLM out there. He wanted to make some national news. He's trying to stay relevant, you know.
There was nothing going on there, Daniel. I had so many angels in Cleveland. I had so much orgone there. I had walls of angels above, around, and inside Cleveland to keep the peace.
Yeah.
They were not going to burn this town down.
Well, right.
This town is my town.
Yeah, Alex Jones, he was trying to get some face time because his organization is pretty irrelevant. And he's got bills, you know, kind of like Bill Clinton said, you know, I got bills to pay, so I got to have hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's about one of the stupidest things I've heard Bill Clinton say, I got bills. Well,
yeah, he's selling a lot of T-shirts for something he knows never going to happen.
Well,
so he's either in on the cover-up or just milking it for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, if he gave Lindsey Graham, if he gave him some of that male vitality, maybe he would have done better in the primary.
Well, you know what? It could blow it out of the water because they could put any one of these clones of Hillary Clinton to a lie detector test, and she would pass it. Mm-hmm. She has no memory of what the Hillary before did.
Really?
So she could pass a lie detector test. That's the first thing a lawyer would do.
Well, she could look right in the camera and lie, so, I mean, it sounds like she's running off of that right there.
Yeah, there's no way they can prosecute her because it's just a clone. They use clones and lookalikes of Hillary.
Yeah, or in her
case,
real one's dead. Stink-alikes is more like for her.
And unless people think I'm promoting Trump, I'm not promoting him either. I don't promote political candidates. I expose them. Uh-huh. Trump is mind-wired. He's the new breed of tech slave. They've got a wire in his brain. Instead of cloning him and soul scalping him, they mind-wired him.
Well, somebody got their mind wired. All right, here's a question from Gerald out of D.C. says, Sherry, did Lucifer say anything to you about the firmament and if the firmament has been cracked or been broken?
You know, we just talked about portals. He was talking about Shema, and you could get to Earth in 10 minutes if you connect all the portals and catch a direct path to Earth. You get here from Shema to Earth in 10 minutes. Space travel is possible if you get into the portals and know how to connect them.
Uh-huh. Now, have you been into portals?
Well, yeah, I can access heaven through portals. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's about portals, though. I mean, people say you can't leave Earth because of the firmament and stuff, and that's not true.
Okay. Guest 720 says, Sherry, tell us how the animals were rounded up and put on Noah's Ark.
That has to be one of my people. Because Lilith talks about it in my conversations with Lilith.
Oh, yeah? What's she got to say about it?
Yeah, she saw the angels. She saw me and Rashiel and others riding the giraffes towards the ark. We rounded them up. All the angels rounded the animals up. And we would ride them into the ark. We had a lot of fun. I mean, it was... Lilith is usually very hateful, vile, despicable being. But when she doesn't have anything to spit hate about and she's just sitting there talking to you, she can be very civil. And she gave me a ton of info, first-hand info from her own perspective of being in the Garden of Eden.
Whoa.
I have a lot of interesting info.
Rewind here. Did you say you was riding the giraffes up in there?
Yeah, the elect were there. The elect were there. The elect are the Elohim. In Genesis chapter 1, it talks about Elohim, which is God, plural. Mm-hmm. It was angels and rulers.
Mm-hmm. Now, was that the only animal you rode up in there? Did you come back and get on some alligators?
I love tigers, so I know I had a lion or a tiger, because I love those. I actually saw the giraffe thing, because she was actually telling me about how close me and Noah were, because I had Noah on a trail cam. Mm-hmm. I caught an angel on my trail cam. It was this man, and I'm like, who is that? I didn't know who it was. I knew it was a dimensional being. I knew it was an angel. And I found out that was Noah. Mm-hmm. And then Lilith kind of filled in the blanks. She said, me and Noah were really close. I was always with him back in the day, so he's probably here guarding me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of interesting getting her, even if she is a witch and hateful and all the bad things she is. She's worse than Lucifer.
Okay. All right, here's a question from our Fast Blast from Quigley out of New York City. Will the mark of the beast 666 turn people into flesh-eating zombies?
Yeah, it's going. They have, and Lucifer laughs about this in the book, because why I warn people about this whole mark of the beast thing, what she calls the phase. Mm-hmm. The reason why we have thousands of coffins stacked everywhere in one place is because what they can do is when whole countries accept the mark of the beast, They can shut them down with a click of a computer. They can kill 1 billion people in one click.
Okay.
It's a death chip. And they plan on doing it.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I've had this question come in a couple times. It says, is Hillary the one who's going to ride is she the whore of Babylon?
No, the whore is a religious term.
Mm-hmm.
It's a religious term. It's the religions of Babylon.
Mm-hmm. When it says that she will cause us to drink the wrath of her indignation, and that sure does sound like Hillary to me. I don't mean go too political here, but a lot of the descriptors indicate it's a really nasty, vile person who loves to lie and is drunk with cheating with the money that she's cheated out of people through something called
the wrath of my indignation. That's a quote from one verse from Father, and so it's not Hillary.
Yeah. I didn't say
I know the Bible,
I said it describes her. I didn't say she said it.
Yeah, I know, but you know what?
In the book of Hillary.
On Hillary is dead. She's dead. Yeah. She died in 2012. They killed her in the bunker of the White House.
She went down in the bunker with Hitler, was she? All right, here's another question. This is from Samantha in Indiana. It says, Sherry, did Lucifer say whether or not 2017 will be the year of death and destruction?
He told me direct that is their target year to begin the phase, which means it would begin September 2017. That's the setup year for them. They want full enforcement by 2018.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how's that going to be rolled out?
Well, you can see it now. The Middle East countries, the Arabs and the Indians, who are both offspring of Lucifer and Lilith anyway, they're already chipped to the max. These people are fingerprinting and eye identification and all this stuff. They're already pimped for this stuff. It's going to start everywhere else before it comes to America. I'm sure in September 2018 is what they're talking about America. I'm sure before then it will be everybody else.
Okay.
They're going to start with their own kids first.
Okay. And how many kids they got?
Well, they got a couple billion. They got all the Asian races.
Okay, now
they got all the Indian race is 1.2 billion. The Arabs.
Okay, well I thought the human race was all good. I mean,
well, they're their offspring.
Okay, so it's the offspring, not the originals.
Humans were created by Father, but Satan has his own offspring on Earth because of Eve and Lilith.
Okay.
He has offspring here on Earth.
Okay. All right. Well, Sherry, we're right at the top of the hour here. We take a 5-minute break. You just stay on the line. I've got your book, Interview with the Devil, in the back, and I grabbed that screenshot from Amazon where you got 4.5 out of 5 stars in that book so far. Looking good. What can people find in that book, Sherry?
You know what? I reveal transgenders, who the transgenders are, who the vampires are. I talk a lot about Hollywood. Talk a lot about politics in D.C. Talk a lot about the Vatican. Mm-hmm. Heaven, the Garden of Eden. I just expose everything. I don't hold anything back.
You never do, and that's why I like having you on the program. All right, Sherry, just stay right there. We'll be back with you in 5 minutes. Stay on the line, please. All right?
All right.
All right, everybody, you're watching and or listening to the Edge television broadcast on our Newsmaker line tonight is, of course, Sherry Schreiner. We're talking about her book, Interview with the Devil. Been an awesome interview in the first half. We're going to come back even stronger in the second half, so stay with us. Next week, we're going to have Belinda Womack talking about divine intervention, and then Mike Ricksecker will be with us, the ghost historian. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to be right back. And welcome back to the Edge television broadcast. If you missed any of the exciting broadcasts, it will begin to replay in our main player directly after the show. We'll extract the high-definition video and put it up in our YouTube channel, as well as put it in a podcast and put it in our TuneIn radio playlist for your re-enjoyment at any time. Be sure to stop by SherryShriner.com and take a look at what that book has to say. She's got some links in that on her website. Speaking of Sherry Schreiner, let's go back to our Newsmaker line, and welcome back, Sherry Schreiner. Sherry, welcome back.
Hey, Daniel, good to see you.
All right, wow, man, what a informational packed first hour we had with you. The whole inbox is lit up with questions for you. Let's just go ahead and get to a couple of those here, and we'll get back to our talk. Phil in North Carolina, Sherry, would like to know what the devil looks like.
Well, he's, I asked him the same question in the book, why people all have so many different beliefs about him. The red devil with the pitchfork, the goat with hopping around, the fawn look, the Baphomet. all these different personifications of him, and he does that so nobody knows what to believe.
Mm.
There's so many different views, nobody knows. He actually looks like, and I asked him direct what he looks like now, because I remember what he looked like then. But what he looks like now is he's 6'4", about 270 pounds. He's a black reptile because he was cursed as a snake in the Garden of Eden. And when he was cursed because he seduced Eve, that was part of his punishment, it affected his entire offspring and organization, all the angels that had fallen with him. That's why we have reptilians. That's where all these reptilians come from, folks.
Okay, so he's a black reptile.
And then he was cursed black, yes. And so that's why his offspring with Eve are the children of India. The two oldest races on Earth are India and China.
Okay, is that a bad thing?
No, I'm just saying. That's why they're the oldest races on Earth. Well, yeah, he seduced Eve. That was bad. He seduced Lilith, too. Yeah. That was bad.
It sounds like he's seducing everybody.
Well, let me explain this. Let me break it down really quick.
Break it down.
In Genesis chapter 1, it talks about how man and woman were formed out of the dust of the ground. Okay. Then, in Genesis chapter 2, it describes how Adam was put to sleep and Eve taken out and a woman created. Lilith was the creation in Genesis chapter 1. She was created out of the dust of the ground with Adam. She left Adam. She was seduced by Lucifer, had a child with him, and left him. That's why the Father put Adam to sleep, took out a rib, and created Eve. She was Adam's second wife. And then Lucifer seduced her and had Cain.
Mm-hmm. And now he's running for vice president.
What's that?
Now Cain is running for vice president.
Yeah, she probably picked him just for his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the real history.
Okay, so Adam had a second wife. Now you got Lucifer. He's seducing everybody over there.
He comes across as a real charmer. I have seen him in Chicago at Trump's tower in the basement. There was a huge gathering of all the Satanists, and the Trump boys were there, and like 500 people, Chicago elite were there, and Lucifer appeared. He comes in as a very blonde, handsome person, maybe 140, 150
As long as he's not a cowboy.
He looks very handsome. He does. I'll give him that. He looks very charming.
Now,
and that's who they
Sherry,
think
now
Lucifer is.
you're not eyeing him, are you?
Oh, please! I'd rather puke on him. I'm just trying to lay it out and give some real facts.
Okay.
Why people are seduced by him? Mm-hmm. Because he's very handsome. He is very nice and charming. They don't know the real him. Mm-mm. But that's the one that they think is Lucifer. Mm-hmm. That's why when you try to deal with these people today on a daily basis, politicians and celebrities, and tell them what a monster he is. Well, of course, they all hate him now. When you get up to a certain point in Satanism, they all hate him. They all hate their handlers. They all hate their bosses. They're hating everybody. But that's how he gets all these women.
Okay,
that's how he does.
Okay, so he got a lot of women. Probably.
In fact, that television show that came out, Lucifer, was about him being charming and smart and all that.
I wonder if he had more women. I wonder if he had more women than Bill Clinton. Okay, so did you have? Then were you invited to Trump Tower to see this meeting?
No, the Father showed it to me.
Ah, kind of like a secret webcam type of thing, and
like an open vision. Yeah.
Okay. Now
Obama was there.
Did you get that in a replay, or did you get to see that? Did God stream that live to you?
No, I mean when you see an open vision, you never forget the details. You never forget it. It's not like a dream where you fall asleep and you forget dreams. You don't forget visions.
So yeah, I guess that really answers. Guest 110 asked the question: did you see Lucifer with your own eyes? But now maybe they're asking: have you seen him with your physical eyes? Sounds like a lot of things you're describing are sort of a supernatural type of thing. So have you seen him in the flesh?
In the flesh, yes.
Okay.
He's not allowed. He's been here playing the Mr. Fawn thing. There've been goat prints on my neighbor's property. He's not allowed on my property. That's one of his biggest beefs. Is that the angels keep him away? Do
you say goat prince?
Yeah,
so
he can go as a goat, like Pan.
Yeah,
the Egyptian Pan personification of Lucifer. Those are actually one of his personifications, so he can blend in with the scenery. I live in the country.
So he's
going to drive in the Mercedes-Benz and,
So he's a handsome goat.
Yeah, I guess. That would be gross, but yeah.
Well, I tell you what, the Muslims will have a field day with him.
He can do whatever he wants. He can be a black crow if he wants to. I mean, he can do what he wants. He can be a woman. He was at the Queen's Jubilee, whatever, a couple of years ago as a woman. He looked like Lady Gaga. I saw that.
All right. Here's a question from Marco out of Pennsylvania for you, Sherry Schreiner. Does Lilith currently run Hollywood? If she and Lucifer have been imprisoned and quarantined, then who is running Hollywood?
Right now it's just all the witches are in charge. They take care of themselves. She's not there. She certainly runs Hollywood, absolutely. The whole witch thing is her. It's all her. In fact, I asked her, what was your first contribution to mankind? You know what her genius answer was?
What's that?
Prostitution. Because they were having so much sex at these demonic rituals, satanic rituals back in the day, that they just decided to sell it.
Well,
so that was her first contribution to mankind.
So are you saying that the devil is a capitalist?
She is. She's the brains behind the devil, put it that way.
Really?
He's more in tune with just doing his own thing.
So is she the mother of the devil?
No, she's his wife. Was his first wife.
Okay.
I mean, not his first wife. I take that back. But she's been with him since she was created and left the garden and was condemned and all that. She's been with him forever.
Yeah.
In a day, put it that way.
Yeah.
And she's the one who started all the goddess worship, the witch sisterhood thing.
Yeah.
She's the organizer.
Yeah.
You can't run anything without her. That's why he was kind of trying to get her back. Now, Eve is with her. People don't understand this. Eve is not in heaven with Adam. Eve is with Lucifer and Lilith, because when she died, there really wasn't a hell at the time. There was a realm of the dead. And she was probably one of the very first of the few that actually died from Earth.
Wow.
And so he just went down and got her. And so he took her up to Shema, where Lilith was, and she's been up there with her since. After that, the Father sealed hell, so nobody could get back out. But she likes to go by the name Queen of Heaven, but it's actually, they fight over that one. Lilith says she's the Queen of Heaven. Eve says, Eve takes the earthly role of Mary. Everyone who worships Mary, you're actually worshiping Eve.
Okay. Well, we are in that category of everybody getting together and knowing each other, for those who may know what that code is. Guest 830 says, okay, I may skip over that question. Well, let's talk about, let's see if I can reword this question. It says, no, I don't even want to ask that question. Let's go to another one. Guest 720 says, does Lucifer control hell?
No. He has access there, but he has no say. He doesn't control it. The Father controls it.
All right. Let's get to another. Well, I tell you what, though. Let me get to this question here, because I was taking notes just before we went to break. You said in your book, you talk about transgenders and vampires. Now, interesting on the transgender part, we have the first transgender president. I mean, he doesn't care about ISIS bombing the country. He doesn't care about Carrier and all kind of other companies leaving the United States. He doesn't care about debt. The only thing he does care about is getting grown men in a little girl's restroom. Now, why is that something? Is there a connection there?
Yeah, the thing is, see, when the whole gay mafia movement came out and the gay mafia took over Hollywood. Hollywood used to be run by the Jews because our Jews.
Oh boy.
Then the gay mafia moved in and took over. Everybody has to be gay now. And so the whole shock factor about homosexuality, there isn't much of a shock factor anymore. Nobody really cares. So they've gone on to transgenderism because that's shocking. They like the shock factor. And so they just moved on from homosexuals to transgenders. What shocked me was the fact it's been going on for so long. I had no idea. I mean, my mind doesn't go down to the levels his does. Nobody's does.
No.
So who would have thought they started this 50, 60 years ago, and the older adults among us now are transgenders, were born the opposite sex, and just grew up as the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I could name names. He's given me names. People would probably be very shocked. I was. Maybe they won't, but I was shocked.
Well, is Obama himself transgender?
Obama is a clone. There's 12 of them.
There's 12 Obamas.
Yeah, there's 12.
Okay.
The original one was killed back in 2012, right around the time Hillary was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 12 Obamas. Michelle's a transgender, obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely, clearly a tranny there. She walking around
Melania
with a
Trump
package.
is a transgender.
Her package keeps poking out of her dress, so I don't even know.
Melania Trump was what he says their masterpiece from the Lebanon dump. Brooke Shields was a transgender.
Whoa, wait a minute. Ivanka is a what's she now?
Melania Trump.
Melania?
His wife.
Okay.
She's a transgender.
She is.
Yeah. So we just go from Michelle, Michael, to Melania Martin. Her name was Martin. She was born a Martin.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, heck. Who else is a transgender we don't know about?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z and Beyonce both are transgenders.
Yeah. Well, how come they always walking around with their drawers hanging down? I mean, what's that all about?
Well, the girls are the worst. A girl can turn into a man, and you can't even tell. I was shocked at some of the men that were born girls.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you took some of Beyonce's videos and freeze framed it, you can definitely see she got the muscles of a man. But man, I remember Moshelle. She says that Beyonce is a role model for young girls. And I'm thinking, well, how is grabbing a woman's crotch a role model? I don't get that, because she wants all girls to do that, or what? I don't even know.
Those two were very close. I'll leave it at that, but you can draw whatever conclusion. But, Obama and Michelle don't sleep together. They don't even stay in the same place together. They don't even like each other.
What are you suggesting? Those two, they kind of... Oh, never mind. Okay.
I'll go on to some more transgenders and blow people's minds. Brooke Shields, transgender, with Bob Hope.
Okay, who else?
Who's her handler? Jennifer Aniston, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows Jennifer Aniston is, yeah.
The one that shocked the core out of me was Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Tim McGraw?
Yep, Tim McGraw was born a girl. Oh. Tim McGraw. And another huge shocker for me was Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce was born a girl. Justin Bieber was born a girl. George Clooney's wife, Amal.
Wait a minute, I feel like singing Tim McGraw. Don't make a difference to me, baby, where the wind takes me, long as I'm with you, girl. Wait a minute.
Yeah, see, they're hard because the girls get those nice deep voices, those draws, the muscles.
Yeah.
Finding the girls are very hard. The boys are a little bit easier than the girls are.
They're easy?
They're easier to find as transgenders than, the girls that turned boys. I think they're hard. Did you know Tim McGraw was a born a girl? No, nobody does.
I missed that one.
They're not obvious. That's what I'm saying. Bruce Springsteen, who would have thought?
Don't like him, so I'll definitely put him in transgender. I just put him in an asshole category. Yeah.
She's a boy.
Who is?
Amal Clooney, George's wife.
Yeah, I don't like her either.
Yeah, they're kind of weird. The two youngest Jenner girls, Kylie and Kendall, they were born boys.
Well, if Bruce Jenner, I mean, I don't get that. Does he like women or does he like men? I'm lost there. Which one is it? If he likes women, he's a lesbian. If he likes men, he's a homo.
His STS, his service to Satan, to push the transgender issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and they sacrificed their. This is what the Hollywood celebrities are doing now. Instead of having to sacrifice their kids as blood sacrifices, they're sacrificing their genders, their sex genders at birth.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so they're switching them at birth. That's their sacrifice to Satan.
Well, somebody put Dreamwalker put a picture of Brooke Shields in our live chat, and boy, that's a facial feature of a man right there, man. Right there. Hey, here's Bransif out of Melbourne, Australia. You got any info on Tupac or Eminem?
Eminem was killed. He's a clone.
Okay, makes sense.
No info on Tupac. There's like a million stories out there about Tupac.
Uh-huh.
I didn't talk to Lucifer about him, so I don't know.
Okay. All right,
I only talk about what I know.
Okay. All right. This question from the Fast Blast again. This is from Frank out of California. Did Father Yah create insectoids and reptoids, or did Lucifer in a pre-Adamic civilization?
Well, I explained who the reptoids are.
Okay.
Those are all the angels that fell with Lucifer and all their offspring and their whole organization and group. When he was kicked out of heaven, he went to what they called Halayan, which we know as Orion.
Okay.
They took all those planets over, and all the fallen of his angels, his group, his organization, they had their own civilizations in Orion.
Okay.
And then when Earth was recreated and the Garden of Eden was put up, they put a portal in the Garden of Eden, and that's how they got access to Earth. They were coming from Orion. That's where they were at the time. So a little bit of background on that. The reptoids are all former fallen angels and their offspring.
Now, there's a group of aliens I do not even like, the reptoids.
They are crossbreeds.
Yeah.
And also, like, Lilith. Anything with the almond eye is Lilith's kid.
Yeah.
Because all the Asian races, all the almond eye on Earth, all the almond eye in space, all the grays, there's like 20 different species of almond-eyed aliens.
Yeah.
Those are all her kids.
Well, I think last time, I may have mentioned, I think we were talking to you last time you were on the show, that the organ makes the reptoids so mad that they start popping their scales off or something. Is that right, or it just kills them?
They burn. It burns them.
It burns them?
It burns them. It literally destroys the grays. And what it does is it melts their aircraft.
Oh.
So when they fly their aircraft in war-zoned areas, it starts to melt, and that's why they crash.
Okay.
Tens of thousands. In fact, one of her biggest beefs against heaven, against me, she told the Father that we had crashed over 10,400 of her ships. She had all these accusations against me for why she was trying to kill me.
It sounds like you're on a hate list. Somebody's hate list.
Yeah,
there,
well, that's the kind I'll take, too, because you know what? Anything I can do to destroy that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm all for that. Here's a great question from Stephen out of New York. It says, Sherry, is Lucifer attempting to go back in time to change history?
That's his people. That's his people.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are all into science and loopholes and stargates, and that's his people. He's not changing anything. He doesn't care.
There is something in the Bible talks about in the days of Noah. Social income, or what happened then would be the sign of what's happening. The end of the time now. So Steve Ellis wants to know: are we in the time of Noah right now?
Oh, certainly. We're at the end. At the beginning, the Father raised up Enoch, and Enoch describes things to the people of that time that were unheard of. If you ever read the book of Enoch, he unveils a bunch of truths, and in the last days, he's standing me up to reveal a bunch of truths. So it's like the back ends, the book ends, the beginning and the end.
I see. Guest 720 out of the live chat asked this question for you, Sherry. Did some TV anchors get cloned? They all look so plastic. And, there are some people that are suggesting that Megyn Kelly has that kind of, she's a poster child for the plastic look. Here she was doing the GOP convention. She's trying to show some flesh up in there with her strapless dress and probably no bra. Who knows what was going on there?
They're all gross. They've all signed the dotted line. So when you sign the dotted line, sell your soul to Satan, which you have to get a TV job, they can take you over and replace you, and they do. They use all these synthetic androids.
Yeah, well, she looked like a synthetic. Hey, you know what though? Now going a little bit about Trump. It seems that something has happened to every person that has come against him. There almost seems to be, I'm not making that claim, but just almost on the edge, almost on the peripheral, that there seems to be a divine blocking for him, or that something will happen to people that have come up against him. Ted Cruz,
it's just called Chris Christie.
Well, Ted Cruz, he got a big
buddy.
Yeah, he got a big pointy nose, and you got Chris Christie.
Go way back into the Italian mafia together.
Well, you're right, Chris Christie in the donuts. He's gathering 50 pounds eating donuts. But then there's Roger Ailes. He came against Trump. Look what happened to him.
Yeah, trust me, the Father's hand is not in this. He is not supporting Trump. People can dream up what they want to try to say Trump is a Christian. He's a blood-drinking Satanist. And I warned them 4 years ago before they killed him and took him over. I warned them they were going to destroy him. And not 6 months later, they mind-wired him. I pleaded with him.
And Donald didn't listen to your pleading?
No. Of course not.
Okay, now where does he get in his blood to drink?
He's been going down to the My Labs because you have to. To get to that high as candidate level, you're taken down to the My Labs where they child traffic, bringing children, You have to rape and kill them. You have to earn your stripes.
Yeah.
Why do you think Mike Pence was named out of nowhere to be the vice president? He's being rewarded for his service to Satan.
So
Mike Pence has killed hundreds of babies and raped and killed them.
Wow. Okay, well, next time I meet him, because I'm here in Indiana, I've met him a couple times.
It's
Who
underneath
knew?
the airport.
Who knew?
They have a my lab underneath the airport, Indianapolis.
And I'm still mad at Hillary because she referred to Indianapolis as India no place. So right there, that disqualifies her for president of the United States.
She probably had worse to say about Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you around the Cleveland area?
I grew up outside Cleveland, on the east side of Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I am farther southeast now.
Mm-hmm. Now, why is it I view Cleveland as like a Rust Belt hellhole? Is it? What's the city like nowadays?
The city is very pretty.
It is? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very clean, very pretty.
Uh-huh.
When you've been to New York City, Cleveland is like paradise. I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
It's very clean. It's a very nice town. And I said nothing's going to happen here. This isn't Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the hood don't run Cleveland.
Oh, well, who's over there burning an American flag in Cleveland? What about that?
That was funny. Everybody was laughing because this guy tried to burn an American flag or something about the Second Revolution, and he caught himself on fire.
All right. That sounds like...
So that's kind of like justice, you know.
Ooh, who knew? Who knew there'd be some funny stuff coming out of Cleveland? All right, Tim from New Jersey, the Fast Blast. Sherry, would you agree the entire sky is used against us, and there is a partition that's put up, i.e., the sky is fake, kind of like in that one movie with Jim Carrey?
Certainly, there's a cage over us. It's like a partition. It's the exact word I see in the codes. It's partition.
Okay. Is there any way we can bust through this thing and get out in space?
Portals.
That's the only way we can exit the planet?
That's the only way, portals.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get bases built on Mars and stuff. They use the portals. Mm-hmm. People say it's not possible to take shuttles and stuff up there, and they're right, they don't. Mm-hmm. But they go, because the real space program's in Pine Gap, Australia. It's not NASA. It's Pine Gap.
Pine Gap, well.
Pine Gap's where the Stargates are, where they access portals.
Yeah, and the joke's on them because every once in a while a kangaroo get in there and go on the other side. And they say, man, what's this thing? All right, here's a question from Stuart Harrison. Sherry, what is the Council of Heaven trial against the reptiles on Earth?
What is their what?
He says, he asked the question, is there a Council of Heaven trial going on right now against the reptiles on Earth?
There's no trial going on right now. They don't really deal with the reptiles on Earth. The Council of Heaven wants to deal with Earth. They deal with Lucifer direct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, or Lilith. They'll bring her up. They deal, it's like me. I deal with Lucifer. I refuse to work with his minions.
So you work direct with him. Have you ever interviewed Lilith?
Yeah, I talked to Lilith. I've got some of her stuff.
How's she doing?
Not on Earth. Mm-hmm. Where she's at now, she's in heaven.
Okay.
And it's under Father's guidance. I would not talk to her on Earth.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There's no way.
Okay, Steve L's asked the question, simple, when will the hammer fall?
You know what? They're trying to arrive now. You've got Sananda and Maitreya sitting around on the Capricorn waiting to make a move. Mm-hmm. They have time. Mm-hmm. They have until September of next year to really get the ball rolling because September 2018 is the deadline. So they have to start it before then. Mm-hmm. So the tentative target date is September 2017. Mm-hmm. But Lucifer wants out. Obviously, he wants out of quarantine. Mm-hmm. He's not getting out of quarantine until they make a move. Mm-hmm. So it's up to them to make a move on Earth. So, it's kind of like a standoff and a big argument right now going on.
Well, I hope they get the problems worked out. Here's a question from Curious out of live chat. What really happened to Prince, Michael Jackson, and Whitney Houston? Were they offed?
Prince was killed because he was going up against the Illuminati. If people say it was a record company, whatever. Mm-hmm. He never signed the dotted line. He was gay, and so they let him go because he was gay. But then when he started fighting against his record company, he just, it became a fight with the Illuminati. You don't win. And so he was killed by them.
Well, you don't want to get involved with them bastards. They'll come at you.
Michael Jackson, I have a whole video on Michael Jackson on my YouTube channel, The Truth About MJ. He was killed by Adam Shapiro. he was sacrificed in 1984, the satanic group in L.A.
Yeah. Well,
So all the ones after 84 were just lookalikes.
what about all the child porn on his computer?
You know, those were the lookalikes. That wasn't Michael. That was the lookalikes, because Michael was already dead.
It's not like everybody's dead. We're only dealing with a world full of clones, man.
We are. He was the one where they really learned to keep the brand going, because his name was worth billions.
Well, I could easily see that. Yeah, when
Yeah,
you're
and
dealing
so now
with
they do it with everybody.
Okay.
Angelina, Brad Pitt, they do it with everybody.
Okay. Question. If the devil runs the world, did he rearrange the Bible to be a script of sorts?
He kept a certain narrative that he wanted people to believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he didn't put in Enoch, he didn't put in Jasher and Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the New Testament, most of it's not even written by apostles.
Mm.
You know, 13 of the books are written by Paul. He wasn't an apostle. Mark wasn't an apostle. Luke wasn't. Philemon wasn't.
Well, I know you have a great affinity toward Paul too. So
I do. I have a whole video out now.
Okay, good.
I have a whole website and a video now.
Yeah. All right. Well, we won't bring that up because we'll lose half the audience. So let's go on. They'll come at you, man. They will come at you.
Well,
for
even
that.
Lucifer laughs, and he says Paul was ours.
Okay.
He was one of ours. You're the only one who ever got it right. That's what he said.
All right. Hey, here's a good question. This is from James. It says, Sherry, are cat people aliens, good or evil? Now, that's a whole new strain of aliens. I never heard of the cat aliens.
The cat people are actually, what is that star? Lyra?
Okay.
The Lyra. It's one of the closest stars to Earth. That's where the cat people come from.
Okay. So they sound like some bad dudes over there.
They do exist. They work with the reptilians. They're all just scum.
Okay. Now, if somebody owns a cat, is it possible it's an alien?
No. Actually, cats can, demons hate and aliens hate cats.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they used to have a bunch of cats in Egypt at the palaces and stuff. Because the cats would keep the bad spirits away.
What if you're, say, a moderator for the Edge chat, and you got a cat that jumps on the keyboard and hits keys? Is that an alien that's trying to take over the cat and try to change the show?
No, I mean, my cat does the same thing. It's called grab it by the neck and throw it out. Throw it out the door. Tell it to go get a rat.
Really? Look, I don't know where to go with that one. Okay, let's move on. Whoa, let's get here. So, Dreamwalker says, why is September 2017 the deadline?
That's the deadline. They have markers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak their speak.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us don't. But in the spring is planting and inseminating and stuff like that. In September is harvest.
Well, who's doing? Whoa! Who's doing the inseminating?
This is all theirs. This is witch speak.
Okay.
This is the whole fertility cult speak stuff.
Okay.
I don't speak the language, but I get the idea.
Right.
You plant in the spring and you harvest in the fall.
Okay. We're with you on that.
And so September is a big harvest month.
Okay.
And so that's always the month they target to do this whole mark phase thing.
Okay, got
and their arrival.
Okay. I still don't like the cat people. All right, Steve Ellis again with this question: is Satan the head of Islam?
Of course. Allah is Sananda. Yes, he hates them all. He can't stand them. He doesn't spend any time with them. His main focus is Christians because they're the ones he hates. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is already his. The Muslims are his, the Buddhists, the Hindus.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones that aren't his are the Christians.
There you go.
That's why he hates them. Okay. He calls it the candle burning phase.
Okay.
He wants to snuff the light out of the world, which means come against the Christians and persecute and kill them.
Mm-hmm. All right, this question for Put Yahweh First is Sananda up. What is Sananda up to and the Galactic Federation?
They are here. Actually, they're here in Ohio. They're still in the Capricorn. If you look up in the sky and you see a really pretty blue azure star, that's them. I think in the Hopis they call it the Blue Star Kachin or whatever, because this ship is really high and it's just made of metal. But now, that's where they're at right now.
Now, is the Earth part of the Galactic Federation of planets?
They have a council over Earth, like heaven has a council over it. The Elohim mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, the rulers, the angels that were there when the earth was created, are now the council that rules over earth and heaven.
Okay.
And so Lucifer mimicked that by creating the council over earth, which everyone thinks is the Ashtar command. Somewhat is, but the real power is with the albinos in Libya, the underground base there, the white lizards. Outrank everybody. Most people don't even know they exist. But they feature it in Star Wars, so they do tell you stuff in movies.
Yeah. Man, here's another one. It says, are the Sirius, that's the planet or the constellation, Sirius fish people aligned with the reptilians? Sherry, how many damn alien strains are there out there? We got the cat strain aliens, the reptilians, the reptoids,
They're everywhere.
the
We got the bears, the Chewies from
freaktoids.
Star Wars. That's an actual race.
The fish people?
Yeah, you know what? We have how many constellations? 88?
Yeah, probably.
That's at least 88 factions of aliens, because stars are alien starships. That's where they live. They're their planets. NASA's been lying to people for hundreds of years.
As long as
you look up in the sky and you see the constellation, the Big Dipper. It used to be called the Big Bear and Little Bear Dippers because
Big Bear, Little Bear Dipper.
The Little Bear and Big Bear.
Yeah.
Remember it being called that as a kid?
I don't know. I mean, is that dipper full of aliens or something? What's
yeah,
that?
It's the bears.
Oh.
It's the Chewies.
The bear
Star
aliens?
Wars Chewies. It's the Bigfoots. You see on Earth, the Bigfoots. That's where they come from. So, you know, all of these aliens have their own planets and constellations, and people think it's just gases, balls of gases. It's the biggest joke.
Well, I can see that. So there's a whole nother strain of aliens out there, man. How many? You said there's 88. So we got to deal with all of them.
Well, there's more than 88, I'm sure, but yeah, we deal with this. Well, there's a lot of them that don't deal with Earth. The most ones are the reptilians, and they're vicious, and that's why a lot of them won't even come near Earth because of the reptiles. Lucifer's people are vicious.
Okay, so all right. So what you're saying is that is Lucifer the head of all these groups, all these alien groups?
Well, they all have to answer to him because he's like the boss, because he's like the prince or king that came from heaven. You know what I'm saying? He's the boss. So he does demand. You don't have to give it. He will demand that respect. You will give it to him or be tortured by him. Just like he does his people on Earth. When they step out of line, you know, they get punished.
As they should. Question from Branson again from the live chat. What is the point of the Mandela effect?
You know, I asked Lucifer about that because I had no idea what was going on. Everybody was hyping about it. He said they've been doing that for years. Changing stuff.
Yeah.
Changing text, changing things. He said they've been doing that forever. So we're noticing it now. He said because of the Internet, more and more of their stuff is being known. They can't get away with anything now. People are onto it.
Yeah. So are they going to eventually take over the Internet to stop free-railing shows like this from exposing the truth?
Of course. Especially when the candle phase begins. Candle snuffing phase. You know, the whole grid may be down, so there's not going to be any Internet anyway.
Yeah. What about this neural networking thing they're getting ready to roll out? Have you heard about that? I think it's somehow or another going to wire the brain directly to the Internet.
Well, that's why I won't download that Windows 10. That kind of freaks me out with that 10 thing.
Yeah, that's Illuminati?
But that's what the chip does. There is a number on the chip that identifies you specifically. It's your identification number.
Right.
And it ties you into the computer.
Okay.
So if you piss them off, guess what they can do? They can just turn off your chip.
Sherry, you haven't gone out there and tried to catch Pokemons, have you?
No, but my kids do. I think it's ridiculous. Someone's going to get killed.
Okay, well that's Illuminati stuff, ain't it?
I heard it was Japanese trying to get the GPS of America, and I laughed. Why would they care? You know, why would they care? You know, if you're a kid doing it, fine, because kids are stupid. But when you see adults out there doing it...
So you're seeing that, of course, Pokemon means pocket monster, so you're seeing that as an innocuous internet game type of thing, phone game?
Well, you know, I've heard various different things about it. It's just a money grab. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't paid any attention to it. I just was asking who's Pikachu. Because everyone was trying to get Pikachu, and I didn't know who Pikachu was.
Well, you should know. I think Pikachu's running for president. Here's Ben Hennessy from Australia. 30,000 years ago today, did the Anunnaki wipe out the Atlantean race?
The Atlanteans, there were continents on Earth that existed during the war, the time of the war, the 1,000-year war. Mm-hmm. Atlantis was part of it. Lemuria was part of it. There were 5 or 6 continents here on Earth that were. It was formerly Shan, formerly known as Shan.
Yeah.
And they were all part of that civilization. They were angelic civilizations, but they were fallen at that point. They were fallen angels, so they do exist. Mm-hmm. But at a different time.
Okay. Diana from the live chat asked this question. I guess it's a Bible question. Colossians says that Jesus made an open show of Satan, a triumphant procession. So how is Satan so powerful still?
I think it's because he's allowed to have access here. He's allowed to control, and that's what he does. I mean, people die. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. The one thing he's always said is time is on his side. Because he can always rewrite history, then kill off the people who are angry and try to prevent it, and start any kind of narrative he wants on Earth. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did with the Old Testament, because when they came out with the KJV Old Testament, every Jew threw a fit about what they did to the Torah books in the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. And so what he did was threw the church in persecution and killed off all the Jews.
Mm-hmm. Sherry, would you like to hug a Jew?
I am a Jew.
Oh.
I'm an Israelite.
Okay.
I'm
hug yourself.
There's different terminologies, okay? Because they were known as Judahites back then. They weren't known as Jews.
Okay. Somehow people got the idea they hate the Jews. I don't know where it
My grandfather was King David. I go back to Enoch.
Your grandfather was King David?
Yes, my ancient grandfather. My through the line, Daniel and... well, no, that was the Stewart line. My other line is Daniel Boone. But yeah, I have an interesting
bloodline. Wow, where'd that come from? Well, all right. Well, since we're going all over the place, I mean, can you tell us who killed JFK?
JFK was Hillary.
Or was he a clone?
He wanted to run for office, and Hillary wanted it. But she became a New York senator.
Yeah. So no, I said JFK, not JFK Jr.
Oh.
yeah. Interestingly, yeah, I see what you're saying.
JFK was George Bush.
JFK Jr. Just accidentally died, and she just ushered, never lived in New York ever, and all of a sudden she becomes a New York senator. Then she gets appointed Secretary of State. You can just see the path laid out right there for Hillary to run for president.
And what's her name took the payout every time? His mother.
But let me ask you something. I don't believe there's any way that Hillary can beat Donald Trump, only because Hillary's message is, I'm with her, or,
Well, let me tell you the real truth. She was supposed to be president in 2008.
Yeah.
And Obama stole it from her.
Yeah. Well, she
was supposed to be president.
Well, she didn't have a shitty
so now
grin,
she's
though.
Trying to come back and get what was supposed to be hers.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be given.
She got gypped on that, didn't she?
Yeah. That's why she was so mad. But you know what she did? She ran the White House from the State Department. Mm-hmm. And that's how we ended up with Benghazi and Libya and all these fiascos. It was Hillary in the State Department because she was running the White House from the State Department. She was doing her own thing. And Obama had no control of her.
Well, I don't think you can win an election on to transgenderize America. I don't know what kind of platform that is or how many people are going to vote for that. So I don't see her having any kind of platform. I'm with her. What is that? I'm with the freak. I don't know. How's that
she's a lesbian.
Well, the ugly ones you are. But I'm just saying, there's no way she can beat it. So how is she going to get in the White House?
They've thrown her under the bus. If you saw the code speak with who was it? Ted Cruz saying something about her.
Yeah.
That's code speak. When the big guys like Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Come out and say something against her, that's code speak. They're throwing her under the bus.
What I do like is Ben Carson came out and said that Hillary supports Lucifer. So did you see?
So does he. Who is he to say that?
That's
why I'm saying they're throwing her under the bus. Uh-huh. Ben Carson is big in the Boule, and that's the Black Freemasonry. His whole resume is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Is he a blood drinker too?
Of course. And so they're throwing Hillary under the bus. That's what I'm saying. It's purposeful. When big people like that come
it better
out
be a pretty big bus to run over that pile of fat.
and start openly criticizing, they're throwing her under the bus because they know she can't win.
Well,
So they're going to go ahead and go with
saying.
Obama. Well, Obama's still trying to stay in office in the Trump thing.
Okay, so are you saying that Obama's going to have a third term?
Well, he wants one. He was supposed to start off with blowing up Cleveland. His next stop was supposed to be blowing up Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And causing martial law to stay in office.
Does Obama love the police or not?
Obama doesn't love anybody.
Loves himself?
Yeah, he's a mindless drone.
Okay.
He really is just whatever he's told to say.
All right, somebody's trying to throw a firecracker in the fire from Kentucky. If Peter says Paul's words are scripture, does that mean we should listen to Paul?
No, because first of all, Peter has never been authenticated, and there was a prophecy on Peter that his words would come back to haunt him and bite him. Mm-hmm. It's called the prophecy of Peter.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The apostles never accepted him. They excommunicated him from the church, and they found that document in the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's why they won't release the scrolls.
Back to the live chat, it says... from guest 720, why has Lucifer held off invading the earth?
Because he wants the Christians out of here. Mm-hmm. He's not going to take over the world until it's candle burning time.
Okay. You mentioned candle burning time, and I want to clarify, what is that?
That's snuffing the light out of the world. That's killing the Christians off.
Okay.
That's what they refer to it as, the candle burning phase.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and where are those Christians going to go?
Well, the ones who stay faithful, there'll be several different groups raptured off the earth. Church of Philadelphia will be taken off the earth, 144,000 first fruits will be taken off the earth. The bulk of churches will be left here to be rounded up in FEMA camps. They don't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Now, just offhand, when you were interviewing the devil, he didn't mention my name, did he?
No. No.
This is kind of good.
That could be a good thing. You're not on his radar.
I don't want the boy mentioning my name either, man. I don't come up on that boy's radar. I probably already have, though. Guest 830, is King David your grandfather?
Yes, ancient grandfather.
Have you visited him lately?
I've seen him.
Mm-hmm. How's he doing?
I didn't get to have a conversation. He was saving my life at the moment and threw me back on Earth, but I saw him. That's my claim to fame. I saw him. I got to see him.
That's
they pull my spirit out of my body when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And throw me up in the fifth dimension and try to kill me at times. And David rescued me from one of their.
I thought he was a good guy.
He is.
All right. So now you said in the first hour in your opening that you suffered a heart attack. Now, so they're trying to snuff you out, Sherry. Does that mean that the damage is so great? And are they going to try it again? How are you going to protect yourself?
Well, they always try. I have the father. I mean, like I said, all I had to do was say, Dad, I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, Hillary, or what's her name, Lilith, was captured.
I think you got it right the first time.
Hillary. Lilith was captured. And so, yeah, they can't kill me.
Okay. All right. Patty from Colorado, Fast Blast. When Father took you to see Earth, did you see the firmament as a dome, or was it kind of like a tent, like Isaiah 40:22?
When I saw Earth, and I was looking down on Earth, it was a beautiful blue. I didn't see any kind of in-the-box type thing that people are trying to describe. It's a sphere inside a cube.
Right.
I didn't see any of that.
No.
I just saw a beautiful blue planet, and I'm looking down on it. I'm like, wow. And I've seen it several different times.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just like one thing. One time I was sleeping when I was younger, and I felt myself being lifted up a pole. And then I was floating off the pole. And I looked down, and there's a cord attached to me all the way down there. This is called astral projection, I learned. and I was looking down on Earth. I was floating above Earth with a cord attached to me. And so that was freaky.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you said is freaky. Hey, all right, let's get to this here. This is from Steve Ellis. Sherry, where does your soul go?
Well, your soul, when you die, it goes to heaven or hell. But the problem with a lot of people today, MK Ultra people and monarchs and all these Hollywood kids, when you get soul scalped and your body's taken over by a reptile, the human's body is still alive, even though they're not. Their soul gets pushed into the fifth dimension.
Uh-huh. And where is that? I mean, is that in
the fifth dimension is a realm that encompasses Earth. It surrounds Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's neither good nor bad. It's just like a neutral dimension. There's angels and demons in the fifth dimension. That's where ghosts come from. People talk about ghosts actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
People get trapped.
Mm-hmm.
They go in the fifth. And there's been times where the Father has led me into the fifth to reach out to a lot of these kids, especially the kids.
Mm. Well, it's all about
we give them the light and they go up to heaven. They leave the fifth, which means when they go up to heaven, their body on earth dies. And so what they have to do is keep cloning their bodies to keep the brand names going. You know, they do that to the celebrities all the time.
Well, I guess I need to clone Daniel out so that the Edge can go in forever. Hey, let me ask you, what does heaven look like when you were there?
The courtyard in front of the throne. There is a courtyard.
Okay.
You could probably fit 10 million people in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and angels can float, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could fit billions in there, probably.
Okay, so they're floating around. So is it... Okay, go ahead.
It's very different than people think. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. There's this orange tree with orange leaves. Some of it's just very beautiful.
It's got a tree there? Okay. All right, so now... So, do you see God sit? Is there a literal throne, and is somebody literally sitting on it?
Yes, he does.
Okay, and does he have people like beside him, or what's
there
going
are
on?
The 24 elders that are in the throne room with him, described in the book of Revelation, and the last chapter, somewhere near the last of it, describes the 24 elders that are there. Mm-hmm. What it doesn't talk about is the council, and that's the one I deal with the most. Council.
Now, where is that council at?
It's on in the same area as the palace.
Like in another room?
No, it's its own building elsewhere.
Okay,
there's a lot of buildings in heaven. People think it's just clouds and airy space. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of buildings and things in heaven.
On a more mundane note, is there like indoor plumbing there, or is that not necessary up there?
It's not necessary.
Okay, nobody's got to go to the bathroom on it. All right, so there are different buildings and such. So, how many buildings have you been to?
Well, what I'm allowed to remember as a human on Earth is very limited.
Okay, I can imagine.
I've been to the council because I was there when Lilith was on trial.
She was on trial?
She was accusing me of killing all these people and crashing thousands of her ships and trying to justify why she was using all the groups around the world to kill me back in March.
Well, what was the verdict? Innocent or guilty?
Well, she was found guilty. That's why she's in quarantine.
Well, that's kind of like Chris Christie.
She won't be released until I leave Earth because he's not going to allow her to come down and gather up everybody constantly keep trying to kill me.
Yeah. Well, tell her to back off.
She doesn't learn.
Yeah. Well, you think over eons of time she would have learned. Who created Lilith?
Lilith was Adam's first wife.
But where'd she come from?
Created her. She was created out of the dust of the ground with Adam.
Okay, so God created Lilith.
Elohim created Lilith. Elohim is plural.
Okay.
Elohim is the angels that were there. Mm-hmm. God had to come in and fix up the mess, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So if I can be blunt, the angels screwed it up because Lucifer seduced Lilith.
Okay.
So then God had to recreate Adam. Adam got a new body.
Okay.
And then he put Adam to sleep, put out of him, and recreated Eve. So God had to come in and clean up the mess the angels created, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak. Just kind of having some fun with that. But that's basically what happened.
Okay. Here's Dreamwalker out of live chat says, why is Satan allowed by God Almighty to do his evil?
He tests mankind. We're not robots.
Mm-hmm.
People can choose who they want to worship.
Okay.
And that's their whole life journey, is finding who they're going to worship. Mm-hmm. And people who don't choose go to Lucifer on default. Mm-hmm. So it's basically just a testing thing.
Okay.
He uses Lucifer to test mankind.
Okay. Steve Ellis wants to know, did you speak to Jesus personally?
Yasha, yes. I talk to him all the time.
How's he doing?
Very sweet, very nice.
Oh. And now, what does he look like?
Well, I would say, but I don't want to give them any ideas. But I will tell you that the picture in the churches is Sananda. That's why Father always says, I'm not in the churches. Yeshua says, I'm not in the churches. Because they have pictures of Satan all in them, Sananda.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like that.
Mm-mm.
So the one that when he comes and calls himself Jesus and people recognize him because he's been hanging in their churches all this time, that's Sananda. That's one of Satan's people. So it's going to be really gross. I cannot stand him.
So
I hate him.
So if you describe what he really looked like, people get the wrong idea and have misconceptions.
Well, if I described what Yahushua really looked like, then the Satanists would just mimic it. They would come out with something different than Sananda.
Chris Ariola wants to know, is Jesus black?
No.
Okay. Is there color in heaven?
I don't, angels, everyone gets into this thing about it. Even the blacks on earth, when they go to heaven, I believe they're white. They retain their human. It depends on what they are. If they're part of the elect, they will go back as the angel they were in heaven when they left. So even if they're born on earth as black people or Chinese or Indians, because his people are everywhere, when they go back to heaven, they'll retain the angel. They'll go back to being the angel they were before they left. That's the elect. As far as the bride, there are tens and millions of black people in heaven. Yes.
Okay, good to know. All right, so what other little tidbit can people find in your book, Interview with the Devil, Sherry?
He writes a lot of music. He wrote a song for me.
Lover. Oh, yeah. Can you sing it?
Oh, I can't sing with a darn, but I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, let's hear it.
7 Mary 3, Cumbersome. The band is 7 Mary 3.
Okay, the band is they got a video on YouTube?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. I took their song.
Okay, and that song is about you?
Yeah, he wrote that for me.
Oh, well, is it?
He writes thousands of songs. I don't know if you ever had Donald Marshall on your show.
Yes, Diane Marshall.
Donald Marshall.
Oh,
cloning center guy, talks about all the cloning centers.
No, but send me a link. Send me a name or a link there. I'll try to get him on the show.
Oh, he's crazy. He's a clone. You got to have him on.
It's got to.
But yeah, he's his biggest claim is how he's written thousands of songs for celebrities. What he doesn't realize is Lucifer gives them to him to give to them. He's like a middleman. I never talked to him, so I never told him. But Lucifer has written thousands of songs, and Lilith does too. Most of Madonna's and Rihanna and Stevie Nicks are all Lilith songs.
Oh.
Lucifer writes a lot of people's songs.
You've really sort of spoken very affectionately toward Lucifer.
It's kind of like a sentimental thing. Because he was, we had a past together before the fall. That's why he says I'm psycho.
Oh.
He never knows what to expect. He'll say that in the book.
So he calls you a psycho, and then he writes a song for you. It sounds like he's
because
got psychological
it's a love-hate relationship. We were very close at one time. Now we're mortal enemies, and we're trying to kill each other. So it's, when you put the swords down and be neutral for a little bit, you kind of get back into the back in the days. You reminisce.
So when you die, are you going to continue the battle against Satan?
Always. Always. He's not the angel he once was, but he wants you to think he is. He plays you.
Yeah, but if you know that, then Sherry, how you let him do it?
Well, I'm just not screaming and hollering at him. It's been millions of years, Daniel.
Yeah.
I only scream and holler so much.
Right.
We can put down the swords and talk, so to speak.
Have a conversation, like an interview.
Yeah.
Does he ever
civil.
Does he
but
ever
then after the interview, we're going to go back to fighting.
Oh, okay, so you kind of lay it down, say, hey, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
And then you go back to fighting. Yeah,
and that's why in the book he says when he comes to Earth and rises to power, he wants to have a meeting and talk to me and stuff. And so I agreed to that because, we'll do it for old time's sake. We'll meet, we'll talk.
And the battle rages on.
Yeah, and then we'll go back to fighting the next day. I mean...
Wow.
that's just how it is.
Wow. Well, Sherry, we're right here at the end of the broadcast. I've got your book interview with the devil up there, my conversation with Lucifer subtitle. How can people get the book, and anything else you want to say that we haven't covered? You can say right now.
You know, it's on Amazon. They can go to Amazon. They can buy the paperback or ebook download. It's everything you've ever wanted to know about our true ancient past, heaven, the pre-Adamic, Garden of Eden. It just covers everything. Past, present, future.
I'll tell you what, I mean, as far as telling that information that you've told, I've never heard. You know, I mean, you've got a sort of a complete thing. I mean, you seem to be very well versed and knowledgeable in this matter.
It's firsthand info. I mean, no one else has this info. It's not possible.
No, I would say not. You are exclusive in that. That's why I want to have you on the program tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I love doing your show. You're always an honorable host.
All right. I mean, I put a few quips in there, but you know, that's just me.
That's just you. Yeah, I know.
And you put up with me pretty good. So I didn't hear the phone click, so I think we're still friends.
I've never hung up on you ever.
So. Oh, you never have. You never have.
You're always an honorable host. You're fun.
Okay. Well, good. And we get information out and have fun, and that's what it is. And so people need to come back and re-watch the video and such, and learn some more. Sherry Schreiner, appreciate you coming on to Edge Television Broadcast. Can we have you on again sometime?
Oh, sure, anytime.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you coming on. We'll have you back, Sherry.